Hello, everybody. Welcome to Single in Minneapolis. And I'm your host, Sully. Single in Minneapolis is a channel that focuses on single people in Minneapolis. What I found is that there's not a lot of information that's up to date for people that are in their 20s, 30s, or even in their 40s in regards to the single scene in Minneapolis. So, hey, here we are, Single in Minneapolis. And today, the topic is 10 things you need to know before moving to Minneapolis. I think this is very important. And let's get straight into it. Number 10, traffic exists. With major construction going on all major highways like 494, 94, 35W to 252, as well as other highways and freeways, driving can be cumbersome. Get an app like Waze or Google Maps and avoid the rush hour. While rush hour is not like Chicago, New York, or LA, it's starting to get worse. For example, a 30-minute drive now can be an hour depending on the time, location, and where you're trying to go. Typically, rush hours now last anywhere from 3:30 all the way to 8 o'clock. And during a snowstorm, you might want to be looking at quadruple the time to get to work or get back home. So always allow yourself some extra time just in case. Number 9, Mall of America is overrated. Yes, it's the biggest mall in the USA. Yes, it's got all the stores you can think of, but weekend traffic sucks, parking at the mall sucks, and the prices are super duper sky high. You're better off going to Albertville Outlet Mall, which is an hour outside of Minneapolis, or a cheaper mall in your city. If you're looking for clothing or other items, I'm not saying don't go and check out the Mall of America, but realize you will find cheaper prices elsewhere. Oh, one thing I will say about the Mall of America, check out Cinnabon. It's bomb. And then they also got the crepes where they put Nutella on it. It's on the first floor. I forgot the name, but it's a bomb restaurant. Oh, yeah. Number 8, Minnesota or Minneapolis is home of the Juicy Lucy. While there's been debate about where the Juicy Lucy exactly originated from in Minnesota, one thing is for sure. Juicy Lucy originates in Minnesota, okay? Now, Juicy Lucy is where the cheese is in the middle of the hamburger. There's nothing better than to have one in your mouth. It's so great, tastes so good. After having a Juicy Lucy, you may suffer from a food coma. So make sure you don't have any errands to do or going back to work, or else you'll have a difficult time staying awake. Number 7, nightlife is cheaper. The nightlife is cheaper than California, Vegas, NYC, or other places. Yes, you're not going to have extravagant nightlife venues here. However, because the nightlife is a lot more affordable, you can check out more places and get more bang for your buck. Also, the Sunday Fun Day is becoming a staple in Minneapolis nightlife and night day culture. If you want to party for cheap, do some hookah, you can always slide over to Club Mansion. In the summer times, there's nothing like it. Also, you can get bottle service at Club Mansion or go to a nice rooftop like Stella's or Cowboy Slim's and check out all the cute girls in those mini skirts. Hey, number 6. Now, this one everybody's going to like. Taxes are high, especially if you live in the city, i.e. Minneapolis, you're going to pay. Sales tax is 7.8%. Minnesota residents also pay a local tax burden of 10.8% for income tax. And Minnesota as a state is one of the highest tax states in the USA. Property tax in Minneapolis is the second highest in the state. You're going to be paying tax, okay? Sales tax, like I said, is 7.8%. Always make sure you're aware of what you're buying and that you leave yourself a little room for the tax, especially if you're looking to buy a house. So make sure you check out all the taxes. There are websites out there that have tax information and allow you to calculate housing costs and things of that nature. Number 5, job market in Minneapolis is on point. People with degrees in STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and math will have an easier time finding a job than a liberal arts major. Unemployment rate in Minneapolis was at 3.9% back in December of 2016, compared to the national average of 4.7%. If you have a great resume and know how to look for jobs, you shouldn't have a problem finding one. Tip, check out Indeed.com. Also check out MinnesotaJobs.com or MinnesotaWorks.com, or MinnesotaWorks.net. These are great websites to check out. Make sure your resume is up to date, and happy job hunting. Number 4, Minneapolis is an active town. If you like walking, jogging, skiing, hiking, biking, boating, fishing, this is the place for you. This is a very active town with beautiful parks as well as lakes, like Lake Nokomis, Lake Harriet, Lake Calhoun, Minnehaha Falls, St. Anthony Falls, as you're watching right now. There's so many different things to do. It's a beautiful town and city. Also, Minneapolis is one of the healthiest cities in the USA. So if you like to be active, whether it's summer or winter, there's lots to do outside. Trust me. Number 3, cliquey. People in Minneapolis are super cliquey. A lot of people will hang out with the same people that they knew since elementary school, middle school, high school, college. It can be difficult and discouraging if you're a transplant to meet people. You got to understand, a lot of people think that life is like Dawson's Creek here, especially people that don't travel a lot. So they tend to stick in their circles. And also with the winter times, it kind of makes people antisocial. So people hang out with whom they know. If you want to get into a social circle, some ways to do it is, number 1, offer value. I'm not saying you got to pay people or be rich, but when I say offer value, you want to be personable. You want to be a fun person that people want to hang around with. If you exude positive vibes, positive energy, and people can see that, people will want to hang out with you. One thing that I will say about Minneapolis is that people are willing to give you a chance to show your value. So why not go ahead and prove them what a valuable person you are and what a great friend you could make. Number 2, network, network, network. You have to put yourself out there. It can be very difficult, but if you're personable and know how to engage in fun conversation and in your hobbies, you will meet people. One of the things about Minneapolis is that unlike the East Coast, for example, where I'm originally from, a lot of people don't really network when they go out at the bars or go out to art galleries or museums or festivals. And when I say by networking, I mean by going up and meeting people, introducing yourself. If you're willing to face your fears and approach random people, you are ahead of 90% of other people, because like I said, most people stick to themselves. So if you have the ability to network, you will definitely go far, especially if you're fearless, because it will show people that you're confident and bold. And number 2, which is going to be controversial. Number 2, Minnesota nice is BS. Minnesota nice is just a fancy term for passive aggressive. See, people from the East Coast, for example, are known for being brutally honest. But up north here in Minneapolis, people tend to be sometimes wishy-washy, and some are extremely flaky. And because they don't want to hurt your feelings, they rather flake on you or make up some excuse so that way you don't feel bad for them flaking on you on a date or an engagement. Also, a lot of people here tend to exhibit passive aggressive behavior when it comes to confrontation. What I mean by that is if somebody has a problem with you here, instead of confronting you about it, a lot of people here will talk behind your back and then smile in your face. Talk behind your back and smile in front of your face, like I mentioned. So in this type of scenario, if you're a person who likes to confront people straight up, I highly recommend that you do it in person and not in a passive way. If not, you will let people get away with all types of foolish behavior. Number one, winters are brutal. Whatever you have heard about winters, the snowstorms, the 30 below zero winters, tons of snow, all of that is true. Wintertime in Minneapolis can be one of the most miserable experiences. You will not see the sun for months. You will suffer from seasonal affective disorder or depression. People will hibernate. The beautiful girls that you saw in the summertime with those mini skirts all disappear. People turn antisocial in the wintertime, and you can't really blame them because it's super duper cold. Nobody wants to go out. Nobody wants to do anything. So wintertime, it's easy to just stay at home, become lethargic, be unmotivated. This is why it's important in the wintertime to stay active, make sure that you're moving, and maybe even take a trip somewhere where it's warmer with a lot of sun. Now, this is my list of 10 things that, you should know about Minneapolis before you move here. I think it's very important. Once again, everybody's list is going to be slightly different, but this is my list. These are 10 things that I feel are critical and should be looked at in terms of various aspects of Minneapolis. If you have any more questions or thoughts, leave your comments in the comment section. Smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Single in Minneapolis,